I want to talk about a special topic that so many of you women miss about men. I'll talk about one of these needs that men have that many women don't realize. Understanding this need that men have will help you realize your feminine power and feel, you will be able to enjoy your relationship more and dating and everything else. I will talk a little bit about mistakes that you make, and I will give you some tips how to work through that so that you can remember not to make this mistake. I'm Dalila Jusic-LaBerge, and I help strong, independent women find a partner and love who is excited to commit to them without that effort, overthinking and overfunctioning, and without confusion and guessing, through my soulful love attraction method. So, as I said, I'll talk about this one need that men have that we so often forget. And if you have any friends that can use this, please let them know and give me a little loving on my video. Feel free to ask me any questions if you have. So before I start talking about this topic, I want to tell you a little story. Imagine a little girl. Maybe it's her mother's birthday or Mother's Day, and you create a little, gift for your mom. Maybe you buy something or you make a little card, and whatever the craftsmanship of that thing is, it's not something that's value in that craftsmanship. It's not something that costs thousands of dollars. But when you give this to your mom is so excited to receive this gift. What does that mean to your mom? Did she win a lottery? Did she get millions of dollars, or the most expensive purse out there that she's been wanting, the most expensive car, or whatever it is that her desire? None of that. What matters to your mom is that you put so much thought into that. And now imagine, little girl, yourself. Imagine if your mom said, "Oh, honey, that's fine. Thank you so much. You didn't have to go through so much trouble. I'm okay." I think you and every other little girl in this world would be crushed. Her spirit would be crushed. And, I don't think any mom would ever say something like that. Where am I going with that? Now, think of yourself as a woman. How often do you hear yourself or any other friend say, "Oh, it's okay, you didn't need to," when a man does something nice for you, or anybody else for that matter. But we are talking about men. So one of those needs that men have is to make you feel happy, to give you something, whether these are gifts, material gifts, jewelry, flowers, or some actions or affection. These are all gifts that he gives you, just like your cat brings a mouse to you. These are all gifts from heart, regardless of their monetary value or, lack of that or anything. So when you feel awkward about receiving these gifts, that kind of just demotivates that man, because what happens when he doesn't get that reception from you? Just like the little girl, if mom would say, "Oh, you didn't need to," he feels like, "Oh, I can't influence anybody's life." Basically, men are looking for women that will give them meaning in life. This gives them meaning. This gives them motivation. It makes them want to do better at work. It makes them want to see a smile on your face. Like, imagine yourself, going house shopping, and maybe this house is above your price, but when he sees your face, he's like thinking, "Oh my God, I don't know, I'll figure it out." So this is something that motivates men. That this is something that bonds men emotionally to you. So if you have this struggle of feeling worthless of his gifts and anybody's gifts of love and affection, it's going to be really hard to make that emotional connection with him. So, what are the typical mistakes I see women make? As I said, you feel awkward because, when somebody gives you gifts, you kind of feel you need to be nice and you kind of compete almost with him, and it kind of puts you in a position of competing with him in terms of who is above whom. I can't be below you, in other words. It's kind of subtle psychology, but if you can't receive, it means like, oh, I'm enough, I'm good enough, and I don't need anything from you. That's what you are communicating, not with your words, but on some, emotional, psychological, deeper level. Another mistake that women make is that they don't express their desires and preferences. And I know I'm guilty. Where do you want to go for dinner? Oh, I don't know. You choose. It's just like there is that fear in me. I notice that there's that fear in me to kind of claim something and to say, I want, I don't know, sushi. I want Italian. I want Indian. It's like, oh, why don't you choose? And yes, part of you would like, him to just kind of manage everything, but also he wants to kind of know what will make you happy. So remember that. Another one is you don't notice his little efforts, little things that he hasn't been doing before he met you, Like his house was probably completely different than when you came into his picture, or his grooming, or his clothes, or his habits. So he changed so much to fit you in his life. He's doing little stupid things, fixing things in the bathroom, and by you acknowledging that will help him feel like a little boy, like, oh my God, I appreciate your card. Like, just like when your mom appreciated. We all have a little girl in us and a little boy for men. So you're going to honor that part of him that needs that appreciation. So appreciate his efforts. Another big one is it kind of comes to your self-healing. You don't internalize how worthy you are of the gifts that he has for you. Because like there was a part of you that needed to make it work on your own, that needed to be self-reliant, self-confident, independent. You can't request too much. So you feel like, oh, you didn't need to. You shouldn't bother for me. It makes us feel uncomfortable. But you need to just honor it. At the beginning, you can just kind of like, oh my God, he took me out to this restaurant. He basically took some time of his life and figured out where you want to go, what would be the best restaurant for you. He took his time. That's a beautiful, seemingly small thing, but somebody took their time. And our time, just like their time, is the most precious gift in everybody's life. Our time and heart. I always say that. So when he does something like that, just kind of indulge and think, he fixed this, thing. He changed my tire. Thank you so much. Just kind of sit with that feeling and feel it, how it may be a little bit awkward because you're not used to it, but put it into gratitude, So connect with that sense of gratitude and joy that he has done something for you. So let me know if you are guilty of any of these. And I know I have been, and still, these things come up, but, I know these things, I teach them, and then I kind of have to teach myself again, because those old patterns always come back, and you always need to kind of connect this prefrontal cortex, we call this smart adult brain, just like I'm using it right now when I'm talking to you. And there is that little girl who is operating under, we call it in therapy and psychology, reptilian brain, that fear brain, who's like, oh, I can't trust that. I shouldn't embrace it. What if it doesn't work, and so on. So many questions. So just kind of connect them and say, oh, it's okay. I can appreciate dinner, that doesn't have to lead to anything else. So just kind of be in that moment. Let me know if this resonates with you. How to turn this around? So remember that you're worthy of his affection. Just kind of remind yourself of it, and remind that little girl that it's okay to receive. Stay in this moment, as I said, and enjoy what it is right now. It's a dinner, and just enjoy dinner with that one person. And show appreciation for both small and big things. And remember his needs. This is a big one, because remember I talked about prefrontal cortex and a big, smart, intelligent, independent woman, and there is a little one. So what am I talking about? The little one always goes into that, oh my God, protective mode. I need to protect myself from hurt. And then she can't see the other person. She can't see her partner because her needs are not met. And I know, otherwise you're a very empathetic person. You care about everybody. You just kind of put on that grown-up hat and just kind of shove down your little one and just keep going and honor everybody. But when we go in relationships, romantic relationships, then our little one that we haven't acknowledged, little girl whose needs haven't been met in our childhood, is out there, and she hopes that this guy will meet her needs, but he doesn't. That he needs this grown woman first to get to know us, and then he can be there for us emotionally too. So in other words, kind of remember what his needs are, and that will give you this power. You will feel more empowered and know, oh my God, you don't have to think, oh, will he like me? It's all about me. How am I performing? What's wrong with me? What's right about me? Am I pretty enough? Am I good enough? It's going to become more about, oh, okay, what does he need? Do I fit into his is he the man that I want to be with? And can I meet his needs? And kind of trying to see him. Does he need to kind of feel appreciated, And then you can be that person. It's a beautiful thing. It's a reciprocal thing. That would be it for this topic. Remember that little girl, and don't kind of shove her down, but show up as your adult self in this relationship, especially at the beginning as you are getting to know them, so that you can be attuned to him as well. But you do need to attend to that part of yourself that hasn't been seen, that hasn't been attuned to, whose needs haven't been met. So we talked about this one need that men have, in summary, which is need to give. And when you remember that, you will feel more empowered. His need to give and his need to make you feel happy. Because when he feels that his attempts are futile, he will not be able to be in that relationship happy, for sure. And that's not going to work. And you're going to not be happy. So it takes some part for you to heal, to be able to receive that. Next week, I will talk about what to do when you try everything and your relationship still isn't going in the direction you want. That will be it. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in comments. I will address them later. And I'll see you next week. Have a good weekend. Subscribe and hit the bell to get all my videos.